Hey, this is Dr. Steve Mayer giving you a COVID-19 update for this week. The statisticians tell us that the next 7 to 10 days are going to be very critical because they think that there'll be a peaking of the number of cases of COVID-19 both in the United States itself and also here locally. What we've seen from our analysis of our local data is that where people are getting COVID-19 is from their family, friends, and their neighbors. And so that's why approaching this holiday weekend, it's going to be so critical that we abide by the social distancing rules. All the regulations and the pieces that we put in place over the last 2 weeks are for one purpose, and it's the one tool we have, and that's to prevent person-to-person contact. That's the only way we can slow this virus down. So this week coming up, please stay at home. Don't go visit neighbors. Don't have a barbecue. Don't do an Easter egg hunt. Don't let your kids go out with other people. Stay within your own close-knit group that you've been interacting with. That's the only way we can slow this down. Number 2, I know you have to go out and get food. You have to get supplies. So when you go out, you have your list. You know what you're going to get. You go in. You do not touch your face. When you come out, after touching an unknown surface, you sanitize your hands. A lot of you, and then also, you're going to practice that 6-foot distancing rule. That's the other part of it, those 3 parts. A lot of you are wearing masks. That's great. A lot of you are wearing gloves. That's great. But don't let them lull you until this false sense of security. I'll see people wearing gloves and they'll touch a surface and they'll touch their face. That does no good. You've already transmitted the virus. Or they'll be wearing gloves, they'll be on their cell phone, and they'll put it to their face. Again, you're transmitting the virus. So here's the procedure. You put your mask on, you adjust it. You put your gloves on. You go in the grocery store. You do not touch your face again. You do not touch anything else. You buy your things. You come out. You take your gloves off. You throw them in the trash can. You don't throw them in the parking lot where somebody else has to pick them up. And then you sanitize your hands after you get in your car or when you get home and wash your hands before you touch your face. Then you reach to the back of your mask, you remove it, and you take it off and then wash your hands again. That's the proper procedure. Look, I want to talk a little bit about how we handle difficulty. You know, difficulty and hardships that we're experiencing now can either bring out the best in someone or they can bring out the worst. The worst is anger and resentment and not treating each other fairly. The best is when it brings out our mercy and our kindness towards other people, and it makes us patient with others. And it's important how we respond to this, not just individually, but collectively as a community. So let me give you a little formula that helps me on how I respond to it. And the formula looks like this. It comes from 1 Thessalonians 5:16, 17, and 18. It says, "Be joyful always, pray without ceasing, in all things give thanks." To kind of understand that scripture, that passage, you have to start with the last part first. To give thanks always in all things means that you have to develop a heart of gratitude. And despite the difficulties and the hardships that you're going through, you have to pick out things that you're thankful for and pick them out and list them and know what they are, because it creates within you this heart of gratitude. The second part, pray without ceasing, says to me this: we understand where those blessings come from. They come from the originator of the blessings, from God above. It also says to me that we can't have joy in and of ourselves. We can't create it, but we can look to God and trust and hope in Him, and that creates the joy that we want to have. So we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. But it's very important how we get through it. Are we going to let it bring out the best in us, or are we going to let it bring out the worst? Be joyful always, pray without ceasing, and in all things give thanks.